Shalom. Koholo Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rahakudash. Yahweh will be the true name of the Heavenly Father. Bahashem means in the name. Yahweh Shai will be the true name of the Son, the Heavenly Father, who the world knows Jesus Christ. But his true name is Yahweh Shai. The honor side teachers, the apostles, and the other bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, love, and salutations to the Lord's elect. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. Here the days before the chip, in which these events that's taking place concerning the financial stability here in the society, it's all going to lead to you having to receive a chip to continue buying and selling or to even have access to your money here in this society, man. And this is why all these bank closures is a thing. He's trying to get rid of the fiat currency, hand to hand exchange, and to ultimately get you to tap and go, man. Scan and go, tap and pay. You see, but these are just the roads that's leading to that. Just to go into this quick article, it says Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo among banks closed in just 5 weeks in shock move dominating shutdowns in 2025. You see, in which these bank closures is going to intensify, man. It's like I say, this guy, he's trying to get rid of that fiat currency. He's trying to pretty much shift this society into accepting that digital currency, man. And that's also going to lead to you having to take a C hill to continue with it. It says huge U.S. banks have been shutting down branches left and right, including Chase, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. These banking giants, among others, have shut up roughly 145 branches across just 5 weeks, with more likely on the way. You see? So you can look for more bank closures here in America, man. But these are just the roads that's leading to that digital currency being established here in the society. It go on here. It says the closures were uh were preceded by another wave of shutdowns. Just it's like another wave of shutdowns from January 12th to February 6th, during which banks such as U.S. Bank, Wells Fargo, and PNC notified the OCC of 107 planned closures. You see, it says the wave of closure is expected to intensify in 2025. Yeah, you see that word intensify, man, because things is going to intensify here in America, man. Life, the life that you're experiencing now, or the life that you experienced in the previous years, hey, life is going to get harder, man. It's not going to be as easy as those previous years was, man. Even concerning the financial stability here in this society, things are going to get rough, man. The more the dollar decline, you're going to see a good skyrocket. You're going to see concern grow when things start to happen with these people, money concerning these banks and things like that. They closing down these banks, and people's going to wonder where their money going to go, man. And doing this, then it's going to suddenly gravitate to how I'm going to get access to my money if all the ATMs and banks close down. And he's going to give you that solution, which is going to be that sea hill, man. You receiving that mark of the beast. You see, in which the mark of the beast is not sin, it's not white women, it's not embargo, it's not doctrine. It's the RFID micro seal that's going to go under your skin on your forehead, with Trump and Elon Musk, which Elon Musk is ultimately manufacturing it, but him alongside of Trump, which Trump's supposed to be his great businessman, in which Trump, he can be the president to introduce it, man. You see? But you can look for it. But it going to say again, it says the wave of closure is expected to intensify in 2025, leading to a further 4.11% reduction by the end of the year. So you can expect these things, these banks to go away, man. The bank closures is going to intensify. You see? In which, yeah, this is just the avenue that Esau Edom is taking to introduce that seed here to you, man. This is part of his evil scheme. You see, and real quick. This is Second Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11. It says, "Little saints should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." You see, we're not ignorant of Esau, his evil schemes. The different avenues he's going to take, the different tactics he's going to use to introduce that chip to you, man, in which that's going to be the mark of the beast. And this is why he ultimately got certain, things in place, far as like, mis medical information to ultimately steer away that information from coming out. For which, you consider that medical information, you go into the micro C hip, it's going to take a medical procedure for it to be done, man. So you going into it, you can look to get a medical information strike concerning it, man. But yet these are just parts of his evil scheme. These are things he's going to use, to keep the information from going out on what it truly is, and to ultimately get you comfortable with it when it's introduced to you, man. He's going to use his celebrities, you see, to make it look cool, make it look like the new wave, but it's all just parts of his evil schemes. But yet we're not ignorant because we was warned by the Lord through his men, the apostles, the elders, and the bishops of Great Millstone, who's teaching the correct doctrine, who's giving you the correct understanding on what the mark of the beast is. And you see it coming into its fruition when you look at Esau Edom and this system that he's trying to bring forth, this digital system. The infrastructure is already set up for you to scan and go, tap and pay. He already got you comfortable with it with your cell phones, your debit cards, your visas having chips on it. And he made it more convenient. He got these scan and go stations in grocery stores and things like that. So you see the convenience behind it. You know, people are not gonna be able to scam you. You're not gonna have to worry about having a social security card, an ID card, insurance cards. Everything is gonna be tied in with that chip, man. So he's gonna make it like it's a convenient for you to get it, but then ultimately it's gonna be a snare, man. You know, and a lot of people is gonna get caught in that snare because they wasn't addressed to the report. You thought that, this was just another phase in back culture. You thought we was just trying to be deep. But yet the mark of the beast, which is the micro C hip, is one prophecy that you can't miscalculate because it's gonna cause you your life if you take it, man. This is why the warning go out. You see? But you see Esau Edom, he's conditioning the people to accept it once it comes forth, and it's gonna come. Real quick. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2. And the Lord answered and said, write the vision and make it plain upon a table, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is just for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Yeah, you see that micro C hip is actually going to come. It's going to have its own, moment in time where it's going to have the center stage. You see, and everybody's going to have to gravitate to it, especially those who don't depend on the Lord, man. This is why the Lord said the just is going to live by faith, because it's going to come a time when you're going to have to cut this society off completely. And it's also going to be when that chip is introduced. You see? And at first, he's going to introduce it as, you can take it if you want, but then it's going to be mandated that if you don't take it, it's going to cost you your life, man. But you see, the condition of the society is leading towards that, even from the many different migrants that flew into the society. Well, one way you're going to be able to identify yourself as an American is not going to be through a fucking driver's license. No, it's going to be through you receiving that C hip, man. And that's that vision that's from a point in time that's sure to come, man. You see, Revelation 13 and 16, he's going to cause you to take it real quick. Revelation 13 and verse 16 tells you, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Yeah, he's going to cause you to receive this mark. That mark is that chip, man. And you will have camps. There's camps out there. They'll tell you that that small and great is speaking of nations. It's not speaking of nations. And they'll tell you that right hand on that forehead, if you taking a pledge, or what they'll say, you're doing the wickedness with your hand, but it started in your mind, some bullshit. I know, camps like, they ain't gonna say their name because they really irrelevant, man. And you really shouldn't even be following. Stay away from Sons of Thunder and camps like Horns of Zion HOI, because they're not teaching you the correct understanding on what the chip is, man. What's that other camp? Uh yeah, the ISUPK, man. ISUP killers. Stay away from them, because ultimately they're not teaching you the truth. And you following their teachings, it's gonna lead to you taking that chip and you're gonna try to repent, you're gonna try to take it out. like you finessing the Lord, and you're gonna be put to death, man. You're still gonna get hit with those missiles. You see? But it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or on their forehead. You go into that word small to show you that it's not talking about nations, man. Strong's G3398. It says here the F definition. It says of rank or influence, man. You see? And you read the Strong's definition, it says least, less, little, small. So you will have people here in this society that have a small influence, just like you have people in this society that have a very great influence. Because when you go into the word great and you go down, believe it give you the same definition. Let's see, stature of age, great or old. See, it says here, it says predicated of rank as belonging to. You see your rank, man. You know, it's not going into nations. You see, because you have people again with a great influence, and you have people with a smaller influence, man. And this is also what he's speaking of: small and great, rich and poor. You see, so just going back, yeah, it says to receive a mark in their right hand or on their forehead, in which their word mark goes back into charagma, which is a stamp and imprinted mark. You know, it's something physical, man. It's going to physically get inserted in you. You see, and let's just go and dive into it. That word mark. Strong's G5480 says it takes you back to charagma, and it says a stamp and imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as a badge of the followers of the Antichrist. You see? So this is going to show who you belong to if you take that seal, man. It says here in the strong definition, stamp as a badge of servitude. You see? So it can't be seen because we all are sin. We in these bodies of we in these corruptible bodies, man. These chains of darkness. So we all going off. You know, we do wickedly. This is why we need Yahweh Shai, man. This is why Yahweh Shai is important. You see, because Yahweh Shai, he's going to free us out of these chains of darkness, which is these bodies. You see? But if you receive that seal, your only way out of this body is going through that fire, man. You know, because you became a servant unto the so-called white man Esau Edom by receiving his mark. But just to continue on in the word mark, it takes you back to the word karax. When you go into the root word, which is something that's sharpened to the point, which is that tool that's going to be used to stick you and insert that C hip in you. You see? And you go from there, from Karax to the word grapho, you know, in which when you go into the word grapho, it takes you back to, it says here, to write with reference to the content of the writing to express in writing character. So this thing is going to have your information on it. You see, this is gonna have all your driver's license, your social security, your your insurance cards, all these things, man. You know, it says here to commit to writing things not to be forgotten. See, write down, record. It says to give information directions because it's also going to be a tracking device, man. They're gonna have your directions. They're gonna know exactly where you at. They're gonna know what you're buying. They're gonna know what you're watching, and they're also gonna know what you're thinking as well, man. You see, Esau Edom, he wants complete control. And the way he's going to try to get complete control is through that seal. You know, it says, and that no man may buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you see, without that seal, it's going to cut off the access of you buying and selling, man. You know, but if you have it, you're going to be able to participate with the society. You're going to be a part of the beast system. Yeah, being a part of the beast system is ultimately going to lead to their destruction, man. Which it tells you in Revelations 14 chapter and verse get to the point, verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and its image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Now, that fire and brimstone is also going to come through intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. You know, those ICBM missiles, those nukes that's going to be shot over to America. You see, it says, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receives the mark of his name. You see, in which you don't want to play that lot, man. I pray you how about Shah keep me and the Akim, you know, the believers, the elect ladies and our children away from that mark, man. You see, because the whole world is going to be tempted. But the Lord tell you in Revelation, the third chapter, the 10th verse, that if you keep the words of his patience, he's going to keep you from the hour of temptation, man. It's going to come upon the whole world to try them. You see, and he continue on to say, let no man take your crown, man. You see, the crown is already ours. We just got to ascend up into it, man. You see, but yeah, I can, you know, I pray that you was edified, giving all the glory and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakudash, Lord.